I do try to take requests, and especially when those requests come from the Patreon community, because you guys rock, and you guys are the ones that are really supporting the channel anyway. So if there are special things you want to see, I will go out of my way. Such a request was for the Taurus TH9. So I have here the full-size 17 rounder. I have not done anything with it yet at all. You will see the unboxing. I know you're all about that. Alright, let me get all the packaging stuff out of the way here. So there's the gun. Gun comes with 2 magazines. There's not a magazine in the pistol, so it looks like it might come with 3, but nope, it comes with 2. They are 17 rounders, and they are Mekgar magazines. They should be very, very good quality, and they are pretty much an identical configuration to so many others, you know, like SIG or CZ. Unfortunately, they're configured a little differently in terms of the holes, so I don't know that they're interchangeable with anything. I'll keep looking around at different guns I have and see if there's any interchangeability with those mags. I'm not aware of any now. If you know of any, put that in the comments. And then we have a little mag loader. That's always quaint, like anybody doesn't have a mag lula. And there are 2 alternate back straps. So, like so many other guns these days, you can take out this back strap and replace it with one that makes the gun fit your hand better. So far, feels pretty good to me the way it is, so I think I'll leave it that way. We've got a little tag here telling us read the manual. RTFM. Okay, so I'm going to take the magazines out of the box and the gun, and I don't need the rest of it right now. Taurus TH9 is a 9mm, 17 round, hammer fired, double action, single action pistol from the folks, of course, at Taurus. I have 0 experience with this gun, but it was requested. Just to go over the basic functions and features of this gun before I get it out to the range. Again, it is hammer fired. It is a double action, single action. It has a safety. The safety is ambidextrous. It also renders you a dead trigger, so it doesn't physically lock the trigger, but it makes it a dead trigger. The safety is also a hammer drop, so it is a decocker, which returns you to a full double action position. And double action, of course, runs the hammer all the way back and then drops it. Single action, you can either pre-cock the hammer using the hammer spur and then have single action, or after the action cycles, you're left at a single action position as well. So that's how that works. Single action, double action, kind of basic stuff, but not everybody's aware of it. The slide stop, slide release is also an ambidextrous control. Magazine release is ambidextrous. And the trigger is ambidextrous. As far as I can tell, the sights are ambidextrous. So this is a fully ambidextrous gun right out of the box. There's a lot to be said for that. Good quality Mekgar magazines, and again, they hold 17 rounds each. Comes with 2 of them. Comes with a decent pair of sights. They are 3-dot configuration. Novak style. Don't know who makes them, but they are Novak style. Sloped rear sight. Non-adjustable, you could drift adjust it for windage, but that's about it. And a front dot. Looks like a pretty good sight picture. I like the fact that it's a relatively narrow notch. That's my preference. So I think I might like this when I get it out to the range. It's got a pretty good beaver tail out here at the back to keep you from getting hammer bite. Picatinny rail out front should take care of your accessories if you need them, like lights and lasers. And one of the very first things I noticed was the grip texture. I like this grip texture. Taurus has really been pursuing this new style grip texture, and I like it a lot, and this feels very nice in the hand. It's got some finger grooves on it. Not everybody likes those, and I don't always like them, but these feel like they happen to fit my fingers, so that's kind of good. And I like the shape of the back strap. It's comfortable. Feels like it wants to keep my hand up high into the beaver tail, and I just really, really like the texture. There's also little index points right here. I think they actually call those memory spots, but those are little index points for your forward thumb, for you thumbs forward shooters, or give you a place to make sure you keep your finger when it's not in the act of firing. So that I like a lot too, although this takedown is really, for me, the better place. Speaking of takedown, it is simple. I like to pre-cock the hammer just to take the tension away from it. Move the slide back just a little bit, just like a you-know-what, a Glock. Pull the two on either side, pull the little slide lock down, and push the slide right off the pistol. Pulling the trigger is not necessary, of course. It is not a striker-fired gun. It's a hammer-fired gun. And there you go. That is it. Trigger feels okay. It's certainly not world class, and that's not what I expect it to be, but it feels like it's okay. I'll take a measurement on it, either before or after I do a first 100, and see how it weighs on the scale. Get this thing out to the range and see how it shoots. Okay, let's get to it then, shall we? Taurus TH9. This is the full size, 17 round duty gun, home gun, range gun, whatever you want it for gun. It is a hammer fired 9mm, 17 round magazines. As I talked about, they are excellent quality Mekgar magazines. I've got them both loaded up. You get two. Got them both loaded up to 17 rounds. They loaded very nicely. I'm about 11 yards back from that target, and let's just see what I can do with it. Right off the bat, first 100. Okay, it looks like it likes that hold, pretty much a center hold. That reset is weird, feels weird. You have that false first reset spot. So I'm not real crazy about that. But it's not a big deal. I mean, if you shot this gun, once you got used to that, you'd know what you're doing. Trigger feels nice. I like the sight picture. And other than that ratchet going on in the trigger, on the reset, it feels good when it resets, and it's respectably short. All right, very good. Looks like I only threw one, a little bit wild right, but the gun feels good when you shoot it, I have to say. The trigger feels nice. I like the feel of the grip. I like both the shape, size, and texture. So I like both of all three of those things. It does feel good in the hand. The slide, or the top part of the frame is a little on the smooth side, a little bit slippery. So you know, even though they've got these index points which are a little too far forward for me. I guess you have to have like orangutan thumbs to get way out there, but it feels a little bit on the smooth side, so I don't really get much grip with my forward thumb. But it feels nice to shoot. I like the sight picture a lot. Seems to like a center hold pretty good at 11 yards, and I can't argue with that group. Magazine release works. You got to push it in a little bit. It's a little bit stiff, and it's about the size of a 1911 mag release, but it does have a safety. It is now loaded, but safety is on, and it does have a hammer drop, decocker, whatever terminology you like better. So I'm going to start out double action, maybe take several shots double action here with this thing. Not too bad, huh? I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna say it's smooth. The double action is a bit gritty, but it's not really that bad. You know, and I'm talking about, you know, I'm comparing it to things I'm used to, like, you know, SIG Legions and Wilson Combat Berettas and things like that. No, it's a very nice double action trigger pull, and I believe it was, what, around 10 pounds? And there's nothing wrong with that all day long. You are able to stage it a little bit too with the double action, which is nice. You can kind of tell when you're at the wall. Yeah, threw a bunch low that time, didn't I? All right, well, there's 34 in the history books, and so far so good. Load up these 2 magazines, play some more. All right, let me speed my shooting up a little bit. See how fast I can run this gun with any kind of control, and see how the gun runs if I'm running it faster. Actually, not bad at all. Not bad at all. It's not always easy to, with a brand new gun that I'm not used to, it's not always easy to double, triple tap or shoot 4 or 5 shots quickly, because the triggers can be a little squirrely sometimes. If you're not used to where that reset point is, you can catch yourself trying to work a dead trigger or you're just slapping at it or whatever. But this one right off the bat seems fairly intuitive, and that faux reset point that I complained about earlier, I didn't feel at all when I was running fast. So maybe you just have to speed up a little bit and get past it, not be so diva-ish about it. Yeah, I got to tell you, You know, here as I am probably 80% of the way through my first 100, I like this gun. I like it. This is a this is a nice quality, good shooting handgun at a great price. So I really don't know what's not to like. By the way, the sights are Novak sights. I know when I first described them as being Novak style and said I didn't know who made them. They're Novaks. It says right on there, Novaks. I'm really liking the Taurus TH9. I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. The reset on this trigger is fairly short and fairly decent, but it makes a really strange sound, like a ratchet. Let me get close to the mic so you can hear it. So let me see if I can take it to just the first. Okay. Yeah, see, that's not a full reset. So you have a bit of a false reset spot right there where you still have a dead trigger. Interesting. So when you're looking at handguns in that $300 to $350 budget range, there really are a lot more choices than you might think. You know, a lot of people think that you're limited to sort of those big 5 brands of handguns, and that's not the case. There are a lot of imports, of course, but there are more and more domestics and more foreign companies that have that are putting in roots domestically, and Taurus is certainly one of those, because Taurus is, of course, a Brazilian company, and a lot of their products are made in Brazil. This gun is made in Brazil, but they do now produce guns here in the United States, down in Florida. And I think you'll see more and more of that, just like we see with some of the big brands like Glock. They find that because, number one, it's a good way around import laws and restrictions and tariffs and things like that, but it also just makes good sense to have manufacturing facilities and delivery logistics where your big customer base is. And there is a big customer base for Taurus products here in the United States. And yeah, Taurus has earned a bad reputation here and there, as have many other manufacturers of all kinds of machinery, right? So I think that people that are still referring back to problems that Taurus had a long time ago and going, wow, I would never own a Taurus. Well, you know, you better start looking at some of those big fancy brand names that have had very similar, if not worse, issues to deal with. So, you know, if you can't look past that, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. You really have to check out guns like the things Taurus is putting out these days. I hear you, I hear you. Shut up and shoot. Okay, I'll shut up and shoot. I'll tell you more about what I think. I'm gonna go double action again. The double action is impressively easy to shoot on this gun. I like it. That reset though does bother me. And I do occasionally get caught on that first that first fake reset point. I certainly wouldn't want to do that in a self-defense situation. So that's not just me being a trigger diva, that could be a problem. The sights are really good. I like the sights. The gun manages recoil very nicely. Very, very ergonomic grip. Nice beaver tail. And it feels nicely balanced in the hand. It's got a good weight balance. The reciprocation of the slide feels smooth and very, very consistent with each shot. And probably the most important thing is it's generally, as long as I can do what I'm supposed to do and hold the gun still while I'm breaking the shot, it's putting them where I point it. So it does deliver downrange nicely. The barrel is not exactly the prettiest thing sitting out front, but it is well made, and it's got a very nice feed ramp. Slide release works as a slide release, and that is important to me. Maybe not be to you, but it is to me. Safeties, I can kind of take them or leave them, but I get it on a hammer gun. I get it, if you want to carry it cocked and locked, you can do that. Although with a double single, there's really no reason to carry it cocked and locked because you still have that double action first pull, which on this gun is really nice. It really shoots pretty flat, doesn't it? I mean, you can see it better than I can probably, but gun shoots nice and flat. I like the grip, I like the feel of it. Got way more than I need. You can look at all that pinky, all that space down there below my pinky. There's definitely more grip here than I need. So probably as much as just about anybody needs. It's got a nice shape to it. It feels very comfortable in my hand, and there are back straps you can change out. So there's a couple different ones, small, medium, and large. You can kind of tailor it. The finger grooves are gentle. They sort of roll. They're almost like two swell points rather than real sharp finger grooves. So even if you're not a fan of finger grooves, you may not mind these so bad. It's one that, if you're in the gun store, and even if you're not interested, I'd pick one up if it's in the counter, and just hold it. Just see how it feels. Okay, let's go ahead and take some pre-shooting trigger measurements. So this is without me having fired the gun yet. It was test fired in the factory, I'm sure, but other than that, unfired. Take a look at the double action. And it's heavy, but 10 pounds, 10 ounces. I've certainly seen worse. And the single action, right at 7 pounds. All right, so here's my initial opinion after a first 100, which turned out to be somewhere between 150 and 200 rounds through this TH9 today. It's got a lot of features that are certainly, I don't want to say in demand by consumers today, but certainly desired by consumers today, and that is ambidextrous everything. There really isn't anything wanting. It's got good pick rail out front for lights and lasers. The grip is very nice. I like it a lot. I know I've said that about 1,000,000 times during this video, but that's because I really do like it. Very comfortable for my hand, and I've got the smallish hands, and I really like the way this grip feels. Magazines are excellent quality, never a problem with any of them. Did not have a single malfunction at any point today, and even no hint at all of any kind of a malfunction. Double action is really impressive. Single action is very respectable. This is a nice handgun for somewhere between 300 and 350 bucks. I'm going to say you really can't go wrong. I like it. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my awesome patrons on Patreon. You guys rock. We'll see this one again, I can promise.